Well, hi, Cassie. Thanks for coming back today.
Yes, of course.
How's your week been?
It's been going pretty good. I've just, I had lots of homework last week, and it's been really stressful having. I had a big presentation due 3 days ago that was supposed to be like 45 minutes long, and I had to work with group members, and it just was a lot of really stressful. But other than that, it was going okay. I had yeah, I've kind of had a stats test coming up, or I had one last week.
And how'd that go for you?
Yeah, it went okay. I didn't really do my homework or study for it just because I just don't really understand it and I don't like stats at all. But I haven't got my grade back yet.
So how does that make you feel?
I don't know. I guess I feel like I could have probably tried harder and that I should be trying harder, but I just don't have any motivation I just don't want to do my stats homework. It's really hard for me to understand that, and I don't know, I get really frustrated, but I know that I could have probably did better.
So is it stats or math in general that you just aren't into?
Stats more so. I'm pretty good at math. I just don't like stats is just such busy work, and it's a lot of long equations and just dumb little uh, math, whatever those things are called. And I don't know, it's frustrating because if you mess up like one little thing in the first step of your problem, your whole thing ends up being wrong. And it gets really frustrating and I just don't like it.
Is there anything you could do that would maybe make you enjoy statistics more?
I guess I know my teacher, she mentioned to me a long time ago about maybe going to a tutor or going to ACE. And I've thought about going, but it just hasn't worked out with my schedule because they only have certain times that you can go for certain subjects.
Mm-hmm.
And that time is like when I'm at work. And so that's the only time they offer it, so I can never go. But I don't know, maybe if I asked her if, I can meet with her some other time because the ACE times don't work with my schedule.
Okay. So what do you think it would look like if you started getting help?
My stats grade would probably be better. I wouldn't be getting a D. I would hopefully be getting like a B or something, and I don't know, I would feel probably a lot better with myself and less stressed about it all the time.
Mm-hmm. So does that sound like something maybe we should try to work on?
Yeah, I just need that like motivation to want to do good in stats, I guess.
Okay. So if we were to set a goal for you talking to your teacher about setting up a time to maybe get some help, how important is that to you in your life right now?
Yeah, it's pretty important. My grades are important to me, and I would like to do good in the class. So
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 maybe being the most important to you out of everything that's happening in your life, what would you say it is?
I'd say it's probably a 6.
A 6?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think by the time we meet next week, you could maybe talk to your teacher and set up a time?
Yeah, I'll try my best to remember to do that, and I'll probably email her just because I am not comfortable talking to her in class.
That's fine. Okay, so is there anything else that brings you in today?
Yeah, right now I live in a house with 5 girls, which is a lot. And my parents, I live in North Fargo with those girls, so I can commute to campus.
Mm-hmm.
But my parents own a house in South Fargo, and it's a 3-bedroom. And my sister she's moving out in December because she lives there right now. And she's moving out in December, and so the house is going to be empty. And my parents would like me to move into it just because next summer I'm interning and it's unpaid. And so then this way they could help, like when I'm paying rent, it's at least going to my parents and not somebody else's. So I need to move into this house, and they I am kind of struggling with finding roommates for it because like my 5 really close friends, like they're obviously all gonna stay in that house, and so and then I'm moving. They wouldn't want to move south anyways because it's so far from campus and they're all still in school. So I need to find roommates somehow, and there's a chance that my boyfriend would maybe move in with me, and so that would mean we share a bedroom. And so, well, I'd have to find 2 roommates, but 2 roommates that would be comfortable with living with me and my boyfriend in the house. But then today, my mom called me and said that 2 renters had contacted her. They're like 2 guys, mid-20s, and they want to rent out the basement. But and so my mom contacted me and asked if I would be comfortable with them renting out the basement if I lived upstairs. So, and I don't know. And my boyfriend Sam, he got really kind of upset about that when it got brought up.
So how is this whole situation? How is this situation making you feel?
I'm
Personal
just
feelings.
really stressed. Like I don't know what to do. Like, do I just tell my parents, yes, go ahead, let them rent it? Um, I'll, and just I live upstairs, or do I just tell them how about we just sell the house and then we don't have to worry about it and I stay where I'm at? I like my roommates, or do we like tell them no and hopefully I can find 2 people to move in? I don't know. It's just really frustrating and it's just like a big mess that I don't even know where to start with it.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned that your boyfriend is kind of upset about it. Can you tell me more about that?
I guess he's just, when my mom said that the guys were mid-20s, so that's kind of my age. And he's just, jealous that I don't know, something would happen or if they would be rude to me, or he just doesn't want me living with 2 other guys that I don't know anything about, and I don't know. And I think he just, is just kind of being jealous about the whole situation.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of ask you an odd question. If you were to go home after your day today and that you just found out that your mom called you and said that there's 2 guys interested, and that's obviously putting some more pressure on you. If you were to go home tonight and go to bed and wake up and a miracle happened, what would that miracle look like to solve this problem?
I guess in all reality, what I would want to happen is my parents to just tell the 2 renters no, even though I feel really bad telling them, like, because it's money, like income my parents would be getting from rent compared to no one living in the house from January to May because I can't just opt out of the house I'm living in now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel bad saying no to having them move in. I don't feel comfortable living upstairs with them and when I move in May. But in all reality, if it didn't come down to financial issues, it would just be to tell those 2 no, and I could find 2 good friends to move into the basement, and then my boyfriend and I could live upstairs, and then just that's all we had to worry about.
So have you talked to your boyfriend about moving in with you right there?
We talked a little bit. I don't know, it's kind of a touchy subject because he doesn't know, he won't plan anything until last minute, and he just doesn't know. He doesn't know where he's gonna be next summer. He wants to go to grad school, and I don't want him to go back home and work. Like he'll have his degree, so I really want him to stay in Fargo
Mm-hmm.
and work with his degree to gain experience. But part of me feels like he still wants to go home and just work some construction job like he has before, and I don't know. So I hope he says that he's wanted to, but I don't get that feeling that he really does want to.
So you were saying that your stats is about a 6 as on importance for you. What would you say this problem in your life right now is on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd say it's a 10. It's pretty important. I just know I have a lot of decisions to make, before the first of the year. Like I should tell my landlord that I'm planning to move out, and I need to start looking for roommates, which is important because though that finances it'll go to my parents, and like that's why we own the house for a reason, so people will pay rent and just extra income. And then I just have to clarify with my new roommates that if they're okay, if they're both girls, if they're okay with a boy living in the house, and just yeah, there's just so much that I need to get figured out before I go home for Christmas break.
Wow, yeah, that sounds like you have a lot to consider, and that would be probably really stressful with finals and your stats class, trying to get a good grade at the end of the semester, and trying to figure out your living situation for next year.
Right.
And you also are trying to please your parents as well as your boyfriend at the same time, and for yourself. That's important too. So, would you like to set a goal for maybe?
I guess by our next meeting, I would like to have told my roommate now that I'm planning to move out, but I should talk to my boyfriend more about maybe influence, or like telling him that it'll be fine if those two rent, and I won't move in there until we move in together in May, so it's not like I'll be alone. Like he'll be there too the whole time I'm there. So I should do that, and I feel like I should start looking for roommates though on the side, just in case something doesn't follow through with the other two renters.
So, do you think by doing that it would maybe reduce your stress, and what would that look like if it did reduce your stress?
Yeah, it would definitely reduce a lot of stress. I guess I would not have to be constantly making phone calls and even putting pressure on other friends I know that would maybe be interested, to being like, hey, can you make up your mind if you're going to move in or not? Like, that's a really awkward situation to be like, I need you to decide by end of December, because if you're not going to move in, then this is going to happen. So that'd be a goal I should follow through with and get done and accomplished.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot going on, and I think it would be a good idea if you tried to reduce some of the stressors in your life by figuring out your living situation and talking to your teacher about maybe setting up a time.
Yeah. So, what are all the goals that I have to do, or what are all the goals I have to do again?
Okay, so your first goal we decided was you were going to email because you feel more comfortable emailing your professor about setting up a time that works for both of you to maybe work on some of your stats homework.
Yep. Okay.
And then you are also going to figure out your living situation, and you were talking about different ways about doing that. Do you want to go over those?
I need to tell my one roommate now that I'm going to move out, and I need to talk to my parents more about, letting them let me find roommates instead of those two.
But you had also mentioned that your parents kind of have a deadline because they want to tell these two that are interested.
Right. Yes or no. Yeah. So I'll need to decide that, or I'll need to talk to my boyfriend more, and just ask, see if he'll be, the more that it settles in, if he'll be more comfortable with that. So, but I need to do that by the end of December, probably. So there's just goals I should be thinking about that don't necessarily have to be done by next time.
Right. Yeah. They can be continuing goals. That's good to have. Okay. So for next time, you're gonna email your teacher about the statistics, and then you're just gonna continue to work on your living situation for the first of the year.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. I think that'll really help reduce my stress levels.
Good. I'm glad. Well, Cassie, thanks for coming in today.
Yes, thank you for having me.